Hello, and thank you for your interest in my course, Introduction to Web Programming for GIS Applications. My name is Mike Miller, and I am the developer and instructor for this course. I've been programming since 1982. I've been using and programming GIS since 1993, but I'm relatively new to web development. And that may sound like a disadvantage, but I actually believe quite the opposite. A couple years ago, I was in the same position many of you are. I wanted to start developing web GIS applications for a number of reasons. The small consulting firm I worked for had clients that wanted remote access to the data we were collecting in real time. We wanted our field personnel to be able to view and collect data in the field without having to go through lengthy downloading and uploading processes every day. We wanted our project managers to be able to see the data our field personnel were collecting without using up an expensive license from wherever they happen to be traveling. And we wanted to do all this without our boss feeling like they had to fund it out of our Christmas bonuses. My problem was that the courses I took on web programming and the books I read were long on detail and short on the bigger picture concepts that I needed to develop a strategy for our company. More importantly, they were not oriented towards geospatial applications, and there are some important differences between GIS and standard web development. I took some focus courses on specific WebGIS software, which were also very big on mapping details, but also lacked the bigger picture on how a web map fit into the larger web application. More importantly, I had a hard time convincing my boss that this was the way of the future when I didn't fully understand it myself, and I couldn't tell him what it would cost or how long it would take. So I spent extensive amounts of time doing my own research and trying to figure it all out. This course is different. There will not be step-by-step, type-as-I-type instruction. We're going to have a lot of fun, and I'm going to explain to you how the web works, what all the different pieces do, what you will need, what you can safely ignore, and show you the basics and get you pointed in the right direction so that you can continue on your own or continue to follow with me as I develop further courses on web programming for geospatial applications. In short, I aim to provide the course that I wish had been available to me when I began, and it would be difficult to do that if that experience was not fresh in my mind. We're going to talk about all the hundreds of terms you read about but don't fully understand. We are going to explain what a client is and what a server is and how they communicate with each other. We're going to talk about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You'll see examples of each, hopefully enough to understand how they work together to form a web application, and I'll focus on the parts that you need especially for geospatial applications. We'll talk about jQuery and Bootstrap and how they will make your life much easier. We'll talk about the different options available to display geospatial data in the client and discuss their advantages and disadvantages. We'll talk about what a database server is and when you will need one, and how to set one up very inexpensively. We'll talk about how to get your data into the server and how to maintain it so that it stays current. We'll talk about some specific topics that need to be considered when you are developing a mobile application for phones or tablets. Finally, we will discuss a very important topic that is glossed over in most beginner-level courses, but that I firmly believe deserves more attention from the start, and that is the subject of security, controlling access to your data and preventing hackers from accessing it or destroying it. The information provided in this course will be useful for any type of WebGIS application, including those using Esri software. However, we will be using open source software in the examples to make the course accessible to everyone, regardless of budget, and to demonstrate that it is possible to develop a fairly large and extensive web application without spending large amounts of money. There are a lot of third-party software sellers out there who will tell you that if you buy their software, you can serve maps on the web easily without programming. But in my opinion, their no programming solutions are far more complex than learning to write the code to do it yourself. And the amount that they charge is enough to make them unusable for anyone other than the largest companies. If you take the time to understand how the web works underneath all the layers of complexity that many third-party software vendors add, you will be able to do virtually anything you want to do without being limited to what that third party provides access to. By the end of this course, I hope that you will have a better understanding of how geospatial applications work on the web and have the knowledge you need to plan your organization's strategy as you move into the world of web-based GIS, wherever that may lead you. As soon as I release this course, I will be developing a complete series of courses that will build on these concepts with much more detail. I plan to release courses on client-side programming, server-side programming, developing for mobile applications, and developing offline mobile applications, and I hope you will join me in this journey.